journey friends, I'm Sara Sach and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video is one of our this or that videos. And what we're going to be discussing today is, do you make the magic circle to start a crochet circle or some other method? And the reality of that is we all do things differently and the way that we were taught. Today, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to start that beginning crochet circle. We're going to do a magic circle or a magic ring, as it's called. We're going to start with that chain 5 method that I like to use, and then we're also going to start with the chain 2 method. There's 3 different ways, and there's actually lots of different ways to do this, but these are my 3 favorite ways, and so I'm going to show you those 3 ways. Just a reminder, there is no wrong answer and there is no wrong way to do that. You need to do what works best for you and what's easiest for you to understand. All right, so let's go to the other camera and I'm going to show you those 3 different methods. The first thing I'm going to show you is what I call the chain 2 method. I'm going to be using, for all 3 of these quick demos, I'm going to be using a bulky number 5 yarn and a K-hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. You can do these methods on any yarn and on using any crochet hook. All right, so the first method is the chain 2 method. So we're going to start with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 2. So what you would do is you would begin in that second chain. This works great for working with your little Ammy or stuffed animals. You go in this second chain from the hook and you just stitch the amount of single crochets that you need for your project. All right, I'm just going to stitch 8 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the tail of yarn out of the way. 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, so if I needed 8 single crochets, then I would stitch in my next stitch for row 2. And this can work the same way if you're doing a half double crochet or a double crochet. Any start, stitch, start. The thing about this one is it leaves a hole, and then you have to go back here and weave this in, and you can't pull that because it won't close. All right, so that is how you do the chain 2 method to start a ring or a crochet circle. Now for method number 2, I'm going to show you how to do the chain 5 method. And this is my favorite way of doing it. I've been doing it this way probably for over 45 years. Okay, and it's old school. I'm old school. And so I'm going to show you how to do this. So you want to leave a little bit longer of a tail. We'll go ahead and do our slip knot. And then we'll just chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes if I'm working with, say, a light 3 or a lower yarn, I might only chain 4 just so that that ring's a little bit smaller. All right, so then we take the tail of yarn and put it over our hook and pull that through that loop like that, and then I do what's called a stay knot. All right, then you want to make sure that your tail of your yarn is on this side, and then you'll go in and make your stitches. We'll do 8 stitches again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you will notice I am stitching over that tail of yarn. 6, 7, and 8 single crochets. And again, whether you're stitching half double crochets, triples, you can use this method. The thing about this that I really like is that we stitched over this tail of yarn, and now I can just pull that tail and it closes up. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we join over here to our first single crochet with a slip stitch. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a chain 1. All right, so then I would turn it over and gently pull on that yarn. And then I would take a needle and thread that on, and then go ahead and weave that in. And I always say you can do this now or you can do it at the end of your project. If it's inside a bag or something, I don't know. I usually go ahead and do it anyway just to get it out of the way because I'm going to have to weave the tail in anyway. And I just go back and forth for a few stitches, making sure that's nice and secure and that the hole is closed. Okay, and that's usually round 1 of my project. We have our 8 stitches and the hole is closed. That's method number 2, the chain 5 method. So the third technique in order to make that beginning circle is the magic circle. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the yarn. This is our working end over here, and this is the bottom. We're going to wrap it around and cross, and then we'll hold it with our thumb. Okay, we're going to go under, and we're going to twist this, and then go back under here and make a slip knot. All right, so that gives us the ability to close this up after we get all our stitches on here. All right, and so we'll just make our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, because that's what we're putting on each one is 8 single crochets. Then you can gently pull on this and it'll close up that circle. All right, and then we'll go ahead, of course, and make a join there. And then you can pull on that circle even more and make it tight. The only difference between this one and the other one, really, it's similar, but we just started different. And you get a little bit flatter area here when you use the magic circle. You're still going to need to grab your needle and make sure that is weaved in nice and secure so your circle doesn't come undone. One of the things, the reason I don't use this one as often is because I felt like it wasn't staying closed. But if you go in and close it the same way we did on the chain 5 method, it will stay closed. I find it to be just a little more clumsy, and so it has some great benefits. Whoops, left a little tail. Let's get that. There we go. It does have some benefits because when you look at these two, this one's a little bit more poochy, where this one is a little bit flatter. And so those are the 3 methods. This one, when you begin, you've got a hole. Again, you're going to have to use that tail of yarn to close it. That's the chain 2 method. This one is the chain 5, and it does stand up a little more. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more poochy. And then the magic circle or magic ring. 3 methods that will work. And again, I use single crochets. All 3 of these methods can be used with double crochets, half double crochets, triple, anytime you want to start a project with a circle. So those are the 3 methods that I like to use. Chain 2 method, chain 5 method, and the magic circle or magic ring. All 3 of them work just fine, and it really just depends on what I'm doing, which method I use. I might use the chain 2 method if I'm making a stuffy that I want to stitch in the round. I normally use the chain 5 method because I really like it, and that's what I learned, like I said, 45 years ago when I first started crocheting. The magic ring or magic circle method, a lot of people think that it's brand new, and if you don't use that method that you're doing it wrong. But really, you can use any 3 of those methods anytime you want to start with the circle in the center of your crochet project. Okay? There isn't a right way, there isn't a wrong way. There's just 3 different methods that you can use. And you need to do what works best for you. I would like to hear from you which method you prefer and why. Because I love to hear what you guys think, and I can learn from your comments as well. And so can others as they read your comments. So please comment down below in the comments underneath this video and tell me and everybody else your favorite way to make a circle in your crochet projects. Well, thank you everyone for being with me today and watching today's video about how to make a crochet ring, and I'll see you next time for another edition of This or That or the Other Thing. Bye-bye now.